Hi, I'm Gloria Mendoza, your state representative from the 14th Legislative District. I stand before you today deeply concerned about the future of farms in Washington state, and even more concerned about the farm workers whose livelihoods depend on those farms surviving. Farms are being squeezed from every direction. Rising fuel costs, expensive equipment, higher insurance premiums, and increasingly strict labor regulations that make it harder for small and mid-sized farms to stay afloat. As a former farm worker who worked in the fields, picking apples, cherries, pears, and other fruits that grow in my district, along with harvesting and planting hops, I know farm work. I know what it takes for a family to survive on a farm worker's budget. Growing up in a family of 10 children, I watched my parents perform what felt like a miracle. They supported all of us on a modest seasonal income of agriculture labor. Back then, the flexibility of farm work and the strength of community made it possible to stay together and keep food on the table. Today, that would be nearly impossible. Seasonal workers often have only 7 or 8 months to earn enough to last the entire year. When out-of-touch legislators impose rigid overtime rules and costly mandates, it often backfires. Crops are perishable. They must be harvested immediately. These added costs rarely mean bigger paychecks. Instead, farmers limit hours, they hire outside contractors, or they replace workers with machines. The result is fewer opportunities for the very people these laws claim to help. For more than 40 years, Democrats have held the governor's office. They currently control all statewide executive offices and the legislature. In this environment, the concerns of rural communities and farming families are too often sidelined. Aggressive legislation is passed by lawmakers who lack firsthand understanding of farming operations or the needs of farm workers. The majority party would like you to believe farmers are the problem. I strongly disagree. The relationship between farmers and farm workers is the foundation of Washington's history and economic health. One cannot survive without the other. In the 14th Legislative District, this bond is about survival. Farming depends on seasonal labor and careful stewardship of the land. For generations, that balance sustained families through the demands of harvest, but forcing city-style regulations onto an industry that must adapt to weather and timing is threatening that way of life. These mandates are pushing family farms toward bankruptcy, toward forced sales or closure. When farms disappear, so do jobs. Current labor laws under the banner of protection have created unintended consequences. They limit a farm worker's ability to earn enough to support a family. Protecting workers matters. Safety matters. Fair treatment matters. But when regulations become so rigid that farms cannot function, farm families and farm workers are the ones who suffer. House Bill 1644, signed into law last year by Governor Ferguson, adds even more layers to farm and farm worker labor law. Supporters say it ensures accountability, but on the ground, each new mandate increases cost and paperwork. It risks putting small farms closer to shutting their gates. And when a farm shuts down, who loses their job? The farm worker. Senate Bill 5360, which is under consideration this session, is also very concerning. This bill risks turning honest mistakes and standard farming practices into potential crimes. That does not just affect the farmer, it affects farm workers too. This is about balance, common sense, writing laws that protect workers without destroying opportunity. We need lawmakers who will sit at the table with farmers and farm workers, not over them. We need practical solutions, not political victories. We need policies that keep farms open, jobs secure, and families strong. I invite farmers and farm workers to join me in this effort. contact my office. Work with me to push back against policies that harm our farms and undermine the ability of farm workers to earn an honest, dignified living. As your representative, I stand for the families who work the soil. Join me. Together, let us call on Olympia to stop the legislative assault on our rural way of life. Because when farms fail, communities suffer. I'm your 14th District State Representative, Gloria Mendoza.